Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This episode is a junk journal roundup, and for those of you who are new subscribers, welcome. And just a quick explanation of a roundup is not actually doing anything but more talking about it, possibly writing it down and thinking about the theory and the processes behind junk journaling, or doing some other kind of analysis. So I'm about to start a new journal, and that's always fraught with decision-making issues on my part, and I wanted to understand what I could do to improve that, and obviously having sort of some tangible information would help. I'm also very aware that when I very first started junk journaling, maybe I started doing it during the pandemic, I had all of this information about how to do this tag or that tuck or the fancy stuff, but I had no idea about the very basic core ingredients that I would need to go and look for, and then how to take that and then sort of move and make that my own. So this is the attempt to be able to talk about the core ingredients. So I've written this down and I've covered it up. We'll reveal it all as we go through it, and this is more for keeping information available for me and in a way that you can read. So the preamble that I have is that there's obstacles to starting to make a journal, and that's certainly in my case. There is a lack of confidence or experience in making art or crafts. And if you have, pardon me, that experience, you will know what it is to work with paper. You will be able to fill in a lot of the blanks that you see makers do on YouTube. You will be able to copy without understanding how and why you're able to copy it. There's, and in my case, there was a lot of mental health issues associated with decision-making and memory. Decision-making in particular. You have just so much choice in the world of journal making, and I needed to understand how to make choices. And I also needed to separate, let's talk about this as it relates to confusion with so much choice. I needed to be able to discern core versus choice. So there's some stuff that you kind of needed to have, and then there is stuff that you didn't, that this was a fancy advanced technique that I didn't need to worry about. So the problem is I don't know what ingredients or materials I need to make a basic journal. The what, I think, is something that isn't really well presented on YouTube. The how is certainly well presented. You do this, you do that. This is the way you sew in a signature. There is certainly a lot of showing, but not giving you that core information. You know, 2 of these, 1 of those, 6 of those. Why 1? Why 6? I don't know. So some assumptions about the journal ingredients that we are going to make. So this is going to be our basic ingredient. So this is going to be for a basic journal. That journal is going to be 9 inches by 6 or 6 by 9. It's going to have 15 pieces of paper, sheets of paper, and that is going to give us a 60-page journal. It's going to be 1 signature. We are going to have 12 functional journaling items in that journal. And there will be minimal fancy stuff. So trims, lace, jewelry, all of the other fancy schmancy stuff that we can see on YouTube. So that is sort of the first piece. And I'm going to leave that there for a couple of seconds so that if you are interested, you can take a picture of that and then keep it as a reference. Like I say, it was really difficult for me at the very beginning of this process to be able to discern what I need from what I don't need. What am I locally, immediately needing to prepare, as opposed to people just prepare stuff and it works out. And I couldn't close that gap. And now that I'm doing a new journal, I have the same problem again. So I figured we might as well solve this together. So next part is we're going to look at the ingredient list. We're going to look at the cover, because there's 3 pieces. There's the cover, the signature, the pages inside, and then the functional journaling items. Now, I think I want to make 1 cover, I want to make 15 pages, and I want to make 12 pockets that have 12 journaling items inserted. The paper I need then is going to be, I need 1 9x12 piece of cardstock or cardboard. I'm going to need 16 sheets of paper to get 16 signature pages. And I am going to need 12 sheets of paper. And my logic behind this 12 is that a piece of paper, you could have like a journaling card here and then make a pocket out of this side. You can use this and, you know, broadly and make a book and then make a smaller pocket or a belly band. 1 8.5 by 11 should give you both a pocket and a piece. So the total paper requirements that you need are going to be 1 piece of cardstock and 27 pieces of paper, 15 of which are going to be the signature, and 12 are going to be used to make some kind of pocket and journaling element. That's all we need. This idea, now I'm going to start marking this up a bit. This notion of 12 pockets is all I need. This is always my limiting feature. The 12 elements I have for days, for absolute days. You know, I see tutorials of this, tutorials of that, and it's like, oh, that looks interesting. I'll make that. I'll make 3 of those. I'll make 7 of those. And then suddenly I have a whole pile of journaling elements, but I have no pockets. And then I don't understand why I'm so frustrated. It's because I don't have the pockets. What else do I want to talk about? So, just for example, what that might look like is I have a 1x12 piece of cardstock, 9x12. It isn't fancy, it isn't decorated, that is not the brief. We are just looking for the basic recipe. So we have this. I also have, this is just a random trash piece of cardboard. This would also do perfectly well. You have a cover. It is some kind of sturdy paper, and it is 9x12. Then I am just taking this out here. I have 15 pages. Let's say there's 15 pages of photocopy paper. I am going to fold these up like this. I'm going to pop them in like that, and I have a journal. And then I'm going to just take these out because it's going to pop for a second. And then I have a different color of pockets and journaling. And let's say I have 12 pieces. Then all of the ephemera is going to be blue. And another thing is I am going to, if you want to line, and now we're getting extra fancy, I have just a basic cahier, a scribbler or exercise book. I have pages that are already torn. I might use a couple of pages for tag backings, but I haven't included it here because it's not necessary. You can actually write on a piece of blank. So that is essentially the ingredients that you need to make a journal. And for me, this number 12 is critical. So if I wanted 2 signatures, I would have 15 times 2, I would have 30 pages, and then I would have this, I would have 24 pockets, and then 24 elements. obviously, once we get beyond this very basic, very rudimentary journal, we can do whatever we want. We can be elaborate, we can be artistic, we can change this ratio, we can change these papers, we can do whatever it is that we want, because that's what art is and that's what creativity is, and we all have our own needs and wishes for different things. So let's do a little bit more information breaking out. Let's talk about the signatures for a minute and these pages, because we've already wanted to be creative. So use one, you want to write on them. And that might say you need it blank, or you need it lined, or you need it very faint printing to it. The next thing you want to do is something that is going to be decorative interest. So that might be something very pretty, a piece of tissue paper, something that is not necessarily going to be written on and is not going to be what the third piece is, and that is we are going to have a pocket mounted on the page. I always get confused among what pages can I put a pocket on. And so a pocket is either going to be on a decorative interest or a page that could have been written on, and we are just not going to do that. Or we are going to use it to frame the pocket or whatever. So there's 3 uses for the signature. So the next thing we have here is the limiting. So we have the pockets. And then we have the journaling item. And this is what we have infinity on YouTube, showing us all of the different things. Less so is pockets, but let's say it's infinity -1 on YouTube. There is a lot of paper prep that happens on YouTube, which is inking, dyeing, jelly printing, otherwise decorating. Kits that we buy off of Etsy or make ourselves are usually going to have pockets, journaling items, those, some of those, and then they are going to have plus the fancy, which are going to be fancy decoration that is going to help with the journaling item. So not just the tag, but here are the labels and the bits and the pieces that go along with that. So I think that is all I wanted to say about that. We may come back and revisit this. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I have answered my question, I think, which is what I needed to know, which is how many pockets do I need to make for this particular journal? And the answer is about 12. So I now have some very clear understanding of what it is that I'm going to be doing as the next part of my make here, and that is looking at the 12 pockets. Just going to put this back up here in case you want to take a picture of that all together. Hope this was helpful. Certainly was helpful for me. If you are, again, new to junk journaling, please just try. Just do something. Do a little bit of something and get an understanding of what the process looks like. First time Michelangelo picked up a pencil, he couldn't draw the Mona Lisa. So you're picking up a pencil and you're learning how to draw. This is really, really exciting and interesting art. There is absolutely unlimited opportunity. But when you first start, creating a bunch of limits creates a very nice, safe space where you can sort of learn some rudimentaries. So that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment on the video if you found it interesting or useful, or if you have any questions, and like and subscribe for more episodes. Thanks so much. Bye now.